Robbie Weeds here, standing in front of a ornamental pear tree. Looks like a Bradford pear. From a distance, I saw that the leaves were curling or crinkling. As you get closer, you see a white tint to them. This is classic powdery mildew, which is very common on stone fruit trees, pears, plums. There a ton of them. Apples get powdery mildew very bad, and you can see how the powdery mildew eventually causes the leaf to deform. Like I said, it's very common, especially when it's damp and hot. It's a breeding ground for the fungus spores. Usually my first, now, like I said, it's very common. Almost every pear, ornamental pear I see in the springtime has at least partial infection of powdery mildew. Now, this is where you have to go back to your IPM, integrated pest management, and think of the threshold. When is the health of the tree affected, and when is the ornamental quality of it affected? A tree, like I've passed probably 10 that have all had partial damage. This is the first one where I probably would recommend treatment, just because the entire thing is pretty infected. If this isn't treated for the next couple weeks, maybe even months, the tree is going to be, if it's not treated, it's going to be working on trying to recover by itself instead of focused on pushing out new growth and being nice and green. It's just going to be focused on remedying itself of the fungus. So a treatment for this would be, I would probably use Daconil weather stick. It's a very effective broad spectrum fungicide that is very low on the chance of building up a resistant in the plant, so you can spray it without fearing that in the future you won't be able to use it for something else. The second application would probably be Banner Max, because again, it's very broad spectrum, higher susceptibility to resistance buildup, but again, it's got a broad spectrum. So with fungicides, since they are pretty expensive and a lot of them are under patent, so you're going to pay a good amount, I try to buy as much fungicides that cover a wide spectrum of diseases, so I don't have to have a big wide array of fungicides. I could have maybe 5, and that'll cover 90% of the diseases I run into on a daily basis. So I like Daconil, I like Banner Max, I like Eagle 20 EW. I like obviously for other diseases you have to get more specific, like the Pythium blights. They're not going to be covered by broad spectrum. You're going to need a specialty fungicides for that, like Stellar, or there's a couple that cater to that. But if you rotated Daconil and Banner Max every 21 days, I think you could make this pear tree really bounce back. And the healthier it is, the healthier you keep it, the healthier their tree will grow, stronger and healthier. Then next year, it's a reduced susceptibility to the disease coming back. So just keep that in mind. The healthier the tree, the healthier and easier the tree can fight against the disease the next year. Now, with that, if there is a small infection, you don't want to treat it, because the tree is building up its own defense, and helping the tree when it's just a small infestation will have the tree thinking or acting like it's always going to be saved. And the tree does have to build its own defenses, like they say with grass. The best pre-emergent is healthy turf. It'll squeeze out crabgrass and such. So just keep that in mind, that you're only treating when necessary to really make the tree healthier and stronger, so that it can eventually take care of itself. That's the case with ornamental plants and trees. With turf, everything, you're just doing what's needed to get the environment that it's created in itself and around it to be able to take care of itself. Spraying fungicides every year is not the the type of system, you know, that you want to have in your front yard. You want the trees and the grass and the plants to all be in their own environment and be able to help and you know, take care of themselves. So like I said, this is one of the first ones I've come across that would need treatment, and I would hope that I could make this tree healthier this year so that next year it could fend off, even if there's a time of year that's a very high risk for powdery mildew to return. I would hope that I made the tree this year that much stronger and healthier to be able to fend off any spores that may try to infect this tree next year. All right, Robbie Weeds out.